From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Grab a great book that we read the night. You can read up on the Space Wire or the News Wire that Captain Shirk puts together, and so much more. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by donating to Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. For the final time of 2019, we bring in Butch Witkowski from UFO Cop as he is here for Strange Days. It's been a long year for Butch, who's still recovering from a massive heart attack this spring, but the good news is he's still salty as ever. Tonight we'll get into the monsters among us and what we may be able to look forward to in 2020. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Butch Witkowski, I hope you had a fantastic Christmas and our final chat before the new year. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Never been better. I had a great Christmas. And, I'm still debating on whether or not we're going live on New Year's Eve. I still don't know yet. I may, but it all depends what the plans are. Because, New Year's plans change so quickly. So if I end up staying home, I'll do the show. If I don't end up staying home, might just put a recording on. I'm not too sure. What's new with you?
If you don't stay home, you're going to need bail money.
Oh, probably.
If you don't stay home, you're going to need bail money.
Probably. Tell me what's new with you.
No. The holidays were great. Get to spend with the family. And because where I live now in the new place, I'm not too far from my son at all. So, I get to see my granddaughter and, all that stuff. It's just a good time. Ate way too much. Can't drink anything, but I ate way too much. So I was still in the turkey coma from Thanksgiving. Now I'm in a ham coma. But, No, it was a nice holiday, good holiday. I'm glad I was around to celebrate it. We won't get into that too much. But, it was it was a fun day. It's always a fun day with the kids,
I agree. I absolutely agree. And, my little guy, he's still rocking out in the house. He got a drum to beat up. He's got a guitar to bang on now. And it's just, my house is a lot of noise. But hey, I would sooner have, you know what, though? There's sacrifices, though. A lot of people would say, oh my gosh, like what the hell, with all that noise, an electric guitar and a drum. But you know what? I would sooner have the noise of that than of these video games that kids get addicted to. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and, I'm not one of these guys who blames video games for anything because I don't believe in that. But I will say this. I do believe that, children spend way too much time in front of video games and in front of the television. And if my little guy wants to put some music on and he wants to bang away in the drum like he's in a band, go for it. Absolutely go for it.
Well, these games, now my grandson plays them. But he does the sports games, you know what I mean? He does basketball, hockey, baseball, football. But he never caught on to that crazy stuff that's out there, where you get a machine gun, you blow away half the town. I really never, well, they didn't have that stuff around when you and I were kids, but what was a big one when we were, well, no, not even Pac-Man was around then, but games of skill,
Yeah. Oh, I remember I was 9 years old when Pac-Man came out. And I'll tell you, when my parents bought that Atari 2600, holy cow. life was good. Life was good.
Yeah, I remember we bought my son his first setup, and every time I'd get home, or I'm like, "Where's the kid?" And she said, "He's in the den," and he wouldn't leave the den. I mean, that's where he was. He stayed in that den, glued to that TV, and like, oh my God. But they outgrow that stuff too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. How are you feeling these days?
Good. I don't know what the hell I did to my back the other day, but that's acting up a little, my lower back. But I had that problem before the heart attack. But, so, I'm just kind of taking it easy. But as far as health-wise, I mean, I've just had doctor's visit and losing weight, which is good. Blood pressure's good. Beats per minute, good. Everything's good. Cholesterol's good.
Excellent.
So, one of the things I noticed after the operation was, I used to eat like crazy. I mean, you could sit me down, man, I'll just clean a house. I don't really eat that much anymore. If I, breakfast, I'm real light on breakfast, and, I sometimes, most times not. I eat lunch, and then, dinner I don't eat. My wife eats more than I do most of the time. But, as far as health goes, I wish the weather would change a little bit, because all it's doing is raining around here. So I get out and do a little bit of walking. And everybody says, well, just go over to the mall. You know what? Malls and Walmart, to me, are just God's way of showing me that he has a real sense of humor.
Oh, there is always that. There is always that. I do got to ask you.
Sure.
I do have to ask you in regards to your health. I'm glad to hear everything is going well. You are feeling better though, because you have so many people out there in this cryptid land of ours that are so concerned making sure that you're feeling good. Maybe a good message to them, just to know that everything is A-okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to get out, and we got some cases lined up. We got a couple expeditions lined up, and I'm sitting there chomping at the bit. But doctor said, "Hey, do whatever you want to do." He said, "It is what it is. You got it done. It's finished. So go do what you were doing before it happened." I went like, "Okay, I'm into it."
Well, that's perfect. Perfect news. Perfect news.
Yeah.
And, as long as you're healthy, that's what we care about. And it's been a long year. I want to start off our interview tonight, our talk tonight, just in regards to how this affected your year. Because, you were just getting ready to get saddled in for the year as we look back on 2019. And then in the springtime, all of a sudden, you're hit with this massive heart attack where we almost lost you, and thank God we didn't. But how did, when you look back on 2019 and everything that happened, what goes through your mind?
I think what goes through your mind, and maybe it was just me, but maybe it's all people that have that kind of condition, is that how sudden everything that you strive for, do, people you love, people you understand, people you are friends with, could be cut short in a millisecond. And forever. And, when it happened back in June, I had to stop everything. I didn't do any reports. I spent most of my time, just sitting there and, with the nurses coming in and out of the house and, doing all that happy crap. It was, I guess I want to say for me, it was a sad time, because I was always used to being on the go, talking to people, taking reports, going out on the road, doing things here, doing things there. Always trying to beef up the electronics and stuff that we use in our investigations, research, investigations. That all came to a halt. And it was like a big part of me was missing. And then, they tell me it happens with all people that go through this. you get these anxiety thing going, and the slightest thing would just set me off. I could be watching cartoons and just break out crying. There's no reason, just start crying. Or, nothing suited me. You know what I mean? Everything was wrong. And when I finally after you go through all the doctors, the cardiac guys and all that stuff, then you can go to your family doctor. And went to the family doctor, and I told him about the anxiety. He said, look, everybody goes through that. He said, look, you got to remember a couple things here. One, when they put you on the table, they killed you. I went, thank you. That's exactly what I needed to hear. He said, you were living through a machine. Okay? He said, then we did this, and this. And he said, all that trauma affects you. He said, whether you like it or not, it affects you and everybody else that's had it done. He said, that's why you were given this, I forget the name of the drug. He said, when you came out, when you went home for 30 days, then we cut it off to see, how you're going to react. You're still going to have the anxiety, the anger, that why did this happen to me, blah, 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 blah. And they put me on 25 milligrams of Zoloft. He said, this will take care of it. And he said, you'll probably be on this for about 9 months, 10 months. He said, and then it'll all go away. And he said, you'll be back to normal. He said, it's just something that happens. He said that you would have the same anxiety if you were hit by a bus. And he said, that's just the body's way of coping with all the things that you're thinking about right now. And he says, I know what you're thinking about. I went, yeah, what's that? He says, when's the next shoe going to drop? And I said, that's exactly what I was thinking about. But no, it all worked out. I mean, I haven't had any adverse reactions to any of the drugs. I take some in the morning, some in the evening. No smoking, no alcohol.
So in other words, no fun. You're not allowed fun anymore.
Well, there's this part of me that's just kind of like under lock and key right now that, I'm thinking of a lot of ways of payback for some of the stuff that was pulled on me when I couldn't do anything about it. But no, it's something that, I mean, I know a lot of people have had it done. I had family members that had it done. I mean, I should have known what to expect. Well, I guess in some respects I did understand, what the operation was going to be like, but I didn't understand, the before and the after effects. Like when it hit me, when it hit me here at the house, I knew exactly what it was. And I knew, it was already going through my mind. If I'm not in the hospital shortly, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. And, then after the operation, it was kind of the same thing, like, okay, now what happens? Did they do it right? Is it going to come unglued? Am I going to bleed to death? And, all that stupid stuff. But the anxiety, I guess, was the hardest. And, watching people that, I've grown up with, people I love, family members, friends, all worried to death about what's going on. And I really couldn't tell them anything because I didn't know. But it's worked out good. It's worked out fine. I'm ornery as ever. So I'm ready to rock and roll.
Well, as long as you're cranky, we know we got you for a while. That's all that matters to us around here. Butch Witkowski is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Butch, looking back at 2020, and we're going to get into this a little bit tonight as we start to close out this year and prepare for prepare for 2020. When you look at 2019 and you see everything that went on, from UFOs to cryptids to what I saw, what I feel, and I could be wrong here, which was a real, sight watching the paranormal kind of take a back seat to everything over the last year. What's your thoughts on how the year played out in the paranormal? Well, a lot of things happened in 2019.
There were some bipedal reports, a lot of UFO reports, a lot of paranormal stuff going on. 2018, I think, was a little bit more, I guess the word I want to use is exciting, because there was more movement going on. But in 2019, some of the strangest reports came out. Reptoids and flying this and crawling that, and like, where'd this stuff come from? And it's just, some of the stuff is really fascinating. Now, some of the stuff is old. And that was another thing that in 2019 that I think we saw that we hadn't ever really seen before, to the extent that we saw it in 2019, was people were relating stories either by, sending in a report or through radio or Facebook or one of the other media ways of doing it, of stuff that happened in the past. And when I say past, I mean like 30, 40, 50 years ago. And photographs that were taken, and of strange things in the woods, and all that kind of stuff. And it was amazing that in all these years that I've been doing it anyway, that maybe you got one of those or two of those a year, or somebody remembered something that happened way back. But in 2019, it was just, it was almost like a daily thing. Matter of fact, I got two on my desk right now in the library. One's from 2002, and the other one's from 1976 or 76. Of things in the woods. Now what they are, what they say. They're describing a bipedal animal of some type. It could be. I would probably venture to say it's more in the line of Bigfoot. And there's another thing in 2019. Bigfoot reports were up, way up. UFO reports were kind of slow in the very beginning. Toward the middle of the year, they kind of picked up. But it was a different year. We could almost tell after a few years, and this season is going to start soon. There's going to be a lot of Bigfoot reports, and we'll get a lot of UFO reports because of clear, cold weather, skies clear, and all that stuff. But all that changed, and now it's like it could be like 95 degrees outside, sun shining, and you're getting a Bigfoot report. So it's but the odd ones, the reptilians, the underground cities now, and all that stuff was back 30, 40 years ago. That stuff was big stuff, the underground bases and all that stuff. And now, then that went away, and now it's coming back. Bigfoot lives underground. They are actually relatives, and it's almost like it's being recycled. And I think, as far as for the short period of time that I was involved in 2019, I saw a lot of stuff that was kind of interesting, not exciting, but interesting. And but now it's at the point now where 2020. We got some new ideas on doing some stuff differently than we've done before. More, and when I say that, I mean by putting out more teams instead of just one team or two teams, maybe 4 or 5, 6 teams out in an area. But I'm hoping for a banner year, and I'll tell you what, from what's stuff that's coming in, it looks like it's going to be a banner year. Talking to other researchers, 2020, these guys are getting hit right now. And, we're talking about, a day or two before it's 2020, and these guys are starting to pile up on reports on Bigfoot, reports on UFOs, paranormal things going on. And I think 2020 is going to be a busy year for researchers and investigators, and for you folks, the people on the radio, and your listeners. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. You got a lot of new people out there. A lot of new technology, especially. I mean, just for instance, taking footprints, to make a cast. Now you can get there's a scanner. You can scan that footprint, load it right to the computer, and send it to your house, or send it to Dr. Meldrum or anybody else you want to send it to in a matter of a few seconds. So, the scanners were always used big in archaeology, and that's another thing. Archaeology is getting involved in certain areas, especially where there's a large number of Bigfoot reports where they think there's a family group where these and they are archaeologists. I mean, they may be buffs of Bigfoot, but they are, they're digging. They're going to places where normally we wouldn't go. But one of the things that's always followed Bigfoot, I guess, at least in my memory, was that they were always seen where there was a lot of calamity or death. Where Indian battlegrounds, indigenous battlegrounds, settler encampments that have been abandoned for many, many, many years. And a lot of that stuff is got their attention, and they're digging. And I was just thinking about that the other day. I thought, we're all out there running around, right, getting crazy, and somebody with a little shovel is going to dig up a body.
Butch, I want to ask you, as we only got about a minute here before we go to break, and I'm sure this answer you'll probably want to carry over, but I see one thing that I also noticed this year was it being a real year of frustration, that the technology has improved so much. Doesn't matter whether it's in the Bigfoot field or not, but the technology has improved so much, and yet here we are with still no real concrete proof or foundation of a body, nothing. And it's just the same old that everybody is used to. And, I think we'll wait until we get back from break because we're only about 10 seconds or so away. But when I look at the fans and the fans of this show, the listeners of this show who have been listening to these topics for the years, I'm almost feeling sorry for them because there is nothing new to report. And it's the same stories with the same ideas each and every time. And I want your opinion on that when we come back. Butch Witkowski is here for the final Strange Days of 2019. More on Bigfoot. Are we closer to finding anything? We'll find out when we come back.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chide and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you'd know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Thiemer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd Psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckard, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a Space Traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have all of you here. A reminder that if you missed portions of this show or others, you could check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Grab a great book from We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers Club for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has the SOR Newswire updated daily. The final Monday of the month, we are joined by Butch Witkowski. This will be the final time this year, the final time this decade. Butch's website, uforcop.com. And Butch, right before the break, I asked you a question for the people out there who listen to these shows, who have a very vested interest in what is going on in this entire genre. And once again, we're nowhere close to finding any sort of answers anywhere. Why do you think that we're no closer? We're so close, so far away, I should say.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly right. You know, we are so close and so far away. But I think there are some things that are out there now that are they're in the testing phase, most of it. LiDAR, which is usually taken from a drone or an airplane, and they can fly over very vast areas of forest and then go back, and through the computer programming of the LiDAR, they can remove all the trees. They can see all the trails. They can see anything that's not normal for that particular area, which is going to give researchers a new view of the forests that they look in and the areas that they choose to research. And it's been out now for a couple of years, but really only, I'm going to say, in the last 8-10 months that some of the Bigfoot researchers are starting to use LiDAR. It was first used by archaeologists in South America, and they flew over the Amazon forest, thousands of miles, and they found like 30-some cities that they didn't even know existed. And now it's being used in the Himalayas in Yeti research. But that's one thing that is coming about that should be able to help a lot. And the other thing that's new, and I really think this is the exciting one, is eDNA, which is environmental DNA. So you can take samples, water samples of a stream through a Bigfoot area that, maybe a high-tech research area for you, and just take samples of the water. And they'll do a DNA on the water, because the DNA stays there. They can tell you what kind of fish are there, what animals are drinking from there, all kind of stuff. So one of the things that the environmental DNA is going to be used for is when they come upon nesting areas or areas where they think Bigfoot has resided or made a kill, which nobody ever really did any DNA on anything like that. Everybody's looking for hair samples and all that stuff, which is, I think, kind of useless. But the environmental DNA, if you find a nest or if you find a place where a Bigfoot has taken down a deer or something like that, you can now take ground samples of the dirt, samples of the leaves, samples of everything around it, and you can perform DNA on it, and it's going to give you a positive or a negative that it's, something unknown. Now, of course, we all hope that we could find a body or something like that, but I keep thinking to myself, it's going to be some archaeologist with a small spade shovel that digs up a body, and that'll just piss me right off.
Why is that? Why would that get your goat?
I guess because all the time invested, time and money invested, and you come up, you think you got something and you don't, and you got a print or you got something like, it's just like you said, you're so close and yet so far away. And then somebody who has no clue whatsoever accidentally digs up a body. And that you go like, I always said, and I said it many, many years ago, the only proof you're ever going to have of a UFO is when one crashes in some farmer's field, and instead of calling the government or the police, he calls the newspapers, and he'll be the one that makes the contact. But I think 2020, researchers are looking at it different now. Stomping through the woods, throwing out pork chops and donuts and whacking on trees with baseball bats, ain't cutting it. A lot of researchers now are putting in some serious time with recording calls that they're hearing in the wooded areas, especially up in your area. There's a team, and they are out of. I'm probably gonna screw this up. That team is out of Colorado, I believe, either Colorado or Utah, and they're up in your area recording calls, and that's all they're doing. They're not. It's not like they're going around researching like you or I would research. These guys are just setting up some really high tech stuff that's been developed for the military, where they can record a sound. And they can, through their computer and the equipment they're using, they can pinpoint within a 1 mile mile area of where that sound came from. And then, of course, they can match it up to other sounds. And everybody's looking for the same thing. They're looking for unknown DNA. They're looking for unknown areas of habitation. They're looking for unknown sounds that can't be, it's not a wolf, it's not this, it's not that. So, but I think it's your area, and I believe northwestern Washington State that they're pinpointing their recording devices, and they got some really expensive stuff, and they are part of a college. Or university, I think University of North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. And it's their department that does sound, and that kind of stuff. But there are some exciting things that are happening, and maybe, just maybe, by sheer dumb luck, maybe the LIDAR or the environmental DNA or the sound recordings may not let us walk right up on one, but may put us in an area where it's almost guaranteed that it's some type of habitat or a group. I know there's a couple researchers out there, and I don't know what that's all about. I just saw it the other day. There's a couple researchers out there who have been putting out information to all researchers. They're looking for information on or studies on young Bigfoot. Now, I don't know what they mean by young. Juvenile, I guess, is what they're after. There's two of them. So I guess, probably somebody's starting to get another realm of study going because, nobody's ever described a young Bigfoot, a juvenile Bigfoot. So I guess that's going to be another realm of investigation. I think 2020 will be exciting for the Bigfoot community, only because of the different ways they're getting away from the old ways and getting into the new ways of looking for things. So,
I don't know if you've heard of a gentleman who's kind of come on the scene recently. He's out of British Columbia. His name is Steve Istall, and he's a hunter / guidesman, really wasn't into the Bigfoot scene, kept it very quiet about his personal experiences until his hunting channel on YouTube called How to Hunt really started taking off. And people kept on asking him, do you have any Bigfoot stories, so on and so forth. And finally, he started obliging. Now, he is kind of taken on the Bigfoot community basically as its Canadian badass, if I can say that term properly, which I guess I just did. But he is kind of looking at things, basically saying that the Bigfoot community really needs to get their butts out of their heads out of their butts, because all of this is going on, and yet it's the own naivety of the Sasquatch research groups that is really killing the fact that we're not finding this. And he's really going hard on blaming the community for shooting itself in the foot. What's your opinion of that?
Well, yeah, a lot of them have shot themselves in the foot, and some of them just by doing their own television shows, and putting out all this false information. And it is false information. I don't care what they call it. They may call it entertainment. I call it false information. How some of them have kept researchers out of particular areas of research. Saying it's a waste of time, effort, money, and talking them out of it, only to benefit themselves and get themselves pushed forward. I think he's right. I think they have shot themselves in the foot in a lot of cases. I mean, when Finding Bigfoot, I think it was the name of the show, first showed Bobo running around throwing out pork chops and nailing, racks of ribs to trees and spreading donuts all over the place with bacon. People thought that was the real deal. That was the way you were supposed to do it. And, they did a lot more harm than they did good. And I've had people at conferences, say, if you're looking for a bipedal canine, have you tried, putting ribs up on trees or throwing pork chops around the woods? And I just look at them like, what are you on? What kind of drugs are you on? It's not going to happen that way. And, I kind of agree with him on that. They've shot themselves in the foot. And a lot of it is just showmanship. You know what I mean? It's not, I always said real researchers will only talk to real researchers. They're not going to go on TV or become, as you just said, investigative reporters. It's one of those things where, we all know what we're looking for, and we all know there's something out there. We just don't know where it is. We don't know exactly what it is. We got some ideas on that, but we just don't know where it is. And then when you say that, the first thing out of somebody's mouth is, well, the government has them and they're storing them. They're keeping them. They've had them for years. They know all about them. And then you get the other group that'll come up and say, well, they're all, they're actually aliens. And then, the next group says, well, they're the pets of the aliens. And it just goes on and on and on. And it really hurts.
Are you saying you're not buying that woo?
Buying what?
You're not buying the woo factor of all of that?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, Butch. I thought you'd be right in there, like a dirty shirt.
No. I just, it's always a good story with no evidence, and that's the part that always stops me in my tracks. I got to chew on something tangible. And, there was, I don't even remember the radio show I was listening to a little while back, a Bigfoot researcher, and it was like all the information that he was putting out over the air was he got this information from his cousin's buddy who was married to his sister's son-in-law's daughter or dog. I don't know. It just got nuts. And we just don't know. Could all that be true? Absolutely. I've always said that. I'm open to anything. But I just need more than, Uncle Joe talking to Billy Bob, on the ranch while they're fishing. I need more information than that. And, we've had cases here in Pennsylvania where, reports are that, of a Bigfoot actually flying a saucer.
That's
and it was witnessed by a couple people. And that was one. Another one was that was also in northwestern Pennsylvania, I believe, where a craft was down and the occupants were out working on the craft, and they resembled, a Bigfoot. So, again, great stories, but I just need a little bit more than that to get into that. But like I said, hey, anything's possible. Like a lot of times I keep thinking about these bipedal canines, and, we've had some recent reports, but I'm thinking, like, can it just be one running around in all that area? Because our research area is like 150 miles by 88 miles of, heavily forested game lands and state parks and stuff like that. And it's never been seen outside of there. But when you go back and do the historical research on that type of animal that was running around back in the day, and I mean many years ago, the description is identical, exactly the same. It's no different. So I guess I was really hoping that, when I found those things that were way back in research, time-wise, that the creature that they were describing would be different in some shape, color, whatever. And then it wasn't. It was exactly the same as the ones that we're getting now. We're talking about a couple hundred years. And then when you talk to the indigenous, when I first started talking to them about it, their thing right off the get-go was, well, their belief, let's put it that way, their belief is that it is a guardian, it is a skinwalker that protects the burial grounds. And I'm thinking to myself, everywhere we have in Pennsylvania is Indian burial grounds all over the place. I mean, we got them everywhere. So, sometimes it seems like the research is going backwards. And then all of a sudden something will happen, or you'll get another report, or you'll find something in your research that, kind of cleans that up and gets that moving. But again, it's just a lot of hard work and research. It's going to get it done. It's the way it is. I mean, I'm not going to find anything sitting here in my office at my desk, nor will I find anything in my, other than research in my library. I got to be out. I got to be out in the woods. I got to be out, on these calls. I got to be looking at places, looking for habitat and stuff like that, looking for signs. And, the research is one part of it, but the bigger part of it's the investigation and what you can come up with. Because if I got to come on the radio on your show and say, like, hey, guess what? I got a thermal image of a bipedal canine. Would you like to see it? You're going to go, yeah. But that's what we're just hoping for. We're just hoping to prove that there is something out there, that these 59 reports we have, plus all the older reports that go back, to this, in the mid-1700s, that this stuff, they exist. They're out there. And why should they be any easier to find than Bigfoot? I mean, they make themselves more, they're more outward, when it comes to, I mean, they'll stand right in front of a group of people. They watch, they're there. I mean, you can see them. I guess that's the thing they have over Bigfoot. Bigfoot kind of hides. These things don't hide, and they show no fear, none whatsoever. And that's another thing, you know. Why does Bigfoot always run when somebody sees him? That was always curious to me. But it was the fact that in that one sighting we had where the three couples were taking a walk and the thing walked out on them, and the one lady lost it. She started screaming and carrying on. This thing growled and started stepping toward them. Now, was that just to ward him off, or was he planning to, you know, have lunch? We don't know. But we've only had 2 instances where the creature showed some type of disturbance or anger at the individual or individuals that it came in contact with.
We've only got about a minute and a half here before we need to go to break. At the top of the hour, Butch Witkowski is our guest. Butch, when you look at the Bigfoot sightings and everything this year, knowing that the numbers are up, are they up in certain areas or right across the continent?
You know, I think they're wherever they want to be. I mean, they may come in different forms and shapes and colors, depending on where they're at. But, I mean, you have them everywhere. I mean, there's reports from Montana, there's reports from Canada, there's reports from California, there's reports from Florida, the Carolinas. I mean, there's reports all over the place of these things. And like I said, some vary in size, but basically they're all the same individual type looking. But some vary in size, some vary in color. But they are what they are. And, you know, for anybody out there that says they don't exist, that's like saying that we're the only ones in this universe. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. I mean, they're out there. You know, whatever they are, they're out there. And that goes for the bipedal, and it goes for the flying, whatever the hell they got in Illinois that's driving everybody crazy. I mean, it's just, there are so many questions, you know, and there's only so many answers because we haven't really gotten one yet. But I'll be happy with a thermal image.
Right. Butch, you hold on right there. We're going to step out for a break here at the top of the hour. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days continues in hour 2, his website, uforcop.com. Stay tuned for more Spaced Out Radio Cryptid Talk with Butch.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR, where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com, where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com, and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thieme. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates, KDNF, AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas. UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, in Reedsport, Oregon, KDUN AM 1030, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, and KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Gyroscophobia. Gyroscophobia is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Great books available at We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers for $5 a month. Great chat going in there as well. And Captain Shirk has the SOR Newswire updated daily. Butch Witkowski is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. He is from UFOcop.com. If you want to check him on out, based out of Pennsylvania. Butch is a researcher in anything strange and weird going on. And that's why we have him here for Strange Days, the final Monday of every month. Butch, welcome back.
Glad to be back.
I got to ask you, in regards to this series called Hellier, based out of Hellier, Kentucky, researchers Greg and Dana Newkirk, Connor Randall, Carl Pfeiffer, Connor Strand, or Tyler Strand, are looking for these goblins, and it's just kind of taken off. Have you ever had reports of goblins from any of the cave networks that seem to connect everything from Kentucky down to Pennsylvania and everywhere in between?
No, not really. There's the only thing I come up with goblins was there's an old story of a goblin witch here in Pennsylvania that. If I remember right, it was took the form of a local priest, and was kind of doing some really, making people sick and stuff like that. And they found out who it was, and they hung him, and then they burned him at a stake and all that stuff. That's the only thing I ever heard about goblins.
Do you think that these cave systems are holding some sort of mythical creatures?
They could be. They connect all over the place. I mean, when we started researching caves where, we could have possible habitation of bipedal canines or Bigfoot or whatever, I got a hold of a group here in Pennsylvania, and I just asked for if they could send me some information on local caves. I got 9 pages of caves in the state of Pennsylvania. 9 pages. Now, and they tell you if they're flooded or if they're private property or if you can go in or how deep they are, all the information you'd ever need. But there's like 400 of them. I mean, they're everywhere. Now, some of them were old coal mines. Some were old gold mines, iron ore mines, and then some were just natural caves. And a lot of them only go back maybe a couple hundred feet, so they're probably landmass construction from the Ice Age, but there's a lot of caves that they put a big X there that they're only explored, like they might have went in 500 feet or half a mile or something like that, and then they didn't go any further. Then they warn you if they're flooded caves or if there's possibility of flood during rain season. It was to me, it was amazing that there's that many caves in this state. So what we were trying to do was connect reports or locations of reports and see what caves were close by to that particular area. And man, that made me half nuts because there was just so many. If these creatures are flesh and blood, they need food, number one, which we all know that they kill deer. They need water, but now do they need shelter? I would say, yeah. I mean, there's nothing that says they have to have shelter, but I would just assume that they would need some type of shelter if there are young ones or old ones. So that's the direction we're heading, is to go out and take the closest caves that are affiliated with the reports that we have in that particular area. But I'll tell you another thing that's popped up lately that just, I haven't read a lot about it yet. I've only read a couple small articles, people reporting gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
Now, when I'm thinking gargoyles, I'm thinking of something that's up on top of a church, a statue to ward off evil or to bring good luck or whatever. And, Rosalind Chapel over in Scotland is filled with gargoyles. But people, there's been a couple reports of people saying gargoyle-looking creatures, running around. And not just in the woods, like in neighborhoods. And I'm like, okay. So that's the newest one that's out, the gargoyles. So goblins, I guess that's not too far off from a gargoyle.
Now, how the heck would the gargoyles get over here?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you look at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York, there's gargoyles there. Now, I'm talking about the statuary gargoyles. But, that's like saying to somebody that studies vampires, how did vampires get from Europe to here? There's always an answer. Somebody's always got an answer, but and that's another thing that's getting really big, groups hunting vampires. Now, I'm up for hunting anything, but I think I might draw the line at vampires.
Yeah. I don't buy the whole vampire thing. I really don't.
No. Now, when people talk about Vlad the Impaler, the Polish king, he was the real deal. What he did, he did. And he did that to, put fear into the Turks so they wouldn't even come near that part of the country. And, but, when Bram Stoker, took Vlad the Impaler and turned him into Dracula, Dragul, then the story started. But that was a story that started, they're talking about the 15th, 16th century. When you're talking about bipedal canines, you can go back before Roman times and get stories on, shapeshifters and bipedal canines and werewolves and, that kind of stuff. So, one of the hardest parts of doing this kind of work is separating fact from fiction. And just because somebody wrote a book and they had all the answers doesn't mean that it's absolutely true what they're saying. So it's if a person is akin to liking investigations, I mean, once you start and you go back in history and it keeps taking you back further and further and further, then you start to think, well, maybe this is just a fable or folklore, or an old wives' tale to keep kids in line. But then again, you can't say that either, because history has proven over time that like Vlad the Impaler got his name because he impaled people and drank their blood. I mean, that was his deal. Romulus and Remus, as far as werewolves or shapeshifters, the indigenous, I mean, they've been their stories go back on Bigfoot for hundreds of years. The guardian of the forest, and so I always said you just can't go out there and say everybody's lying to you, because some of these beliefs are long held and they go back many centuries. And the same thing goes for UFOs. I mean, look at some of the cave paintings. Look at the Nazca lines. I mean, there's things that just can't be explained. I mean, some of the Inca buildings. Who did that? Who drug an 8-ton stone up a sheer cliff and then mounted it on 2 other 8-ton stones? How'd they do that? These cities that are popping up all over the place in South America and Central America that nobody even knew they existed. So there's always something new, and it is exciting. I mean, I enjoy, looking at new stuff, and then comparing it to the older reports and older information out there. But it's always been fascinating. It'll always be fascinating to me. And some of the stuff that's out there is, makes you sit down and go like, that's a possibility. Or it makes you sit down and go like, Bobo's an idiot. Just, it's just, it goes one way. It seems like there's no middle of the road, because just when you think, like just take Bigfoot, for instance. So, you see a story on, or a video or something on Bigfoot, and it really looks good, and the person doing the reporting is, believable. And, that no sooner is off the wire that you got 5 people saying like, yeah, that's a lot of crap. That's all made up, that's somebody in a suit, it just makes me crazy, because, there is something out there. I don't care what anybody says. You can't have this many reports that go back hundreds of years describing the exact same animal, creature, whatever the hell it is. And, it really takes some gumption, I guess, to stand there and say, like, well, everything the indigenous have been telling us is a load of crap. All these stories from Europe of creatures of all different types, from devil dogs to whatever, that's all crap. Stuff in New Zealand and Australia, that's all crap. I mean, everything's all crap, and then you go like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, how long can you fool somebody with crap? I got like in my library, I have like 15 or 20 casts, footprints. I mean, nobody made those. They're not fakes. I mean, they were taken from the scene. So what made that one in there that's 18 inches long?
It's a big
and if somebody was going to, and if somebody was going to hoax it, who'd spend the time to make an 18-inch long footprint and then go to the trouble of putting dermal ridges in the footprint? No.
I got a
They're out
question.
there.
I got a question from our chat room on our website from Trip, who is asking, Butch, did your team get more or less castings this year compared to past years? Have you noticed a difference between hotter and cooler years?
Not so much in temperature-wise, hotter or cooler. No, not that. I think the most were in 2017 and 18. I was talking to a researcher at a conference I was at. Matter of fact, it was Jeff Meldrum and Dr. Meldrum, and he was saying that he saw a big increase in footprints being taken. He said, you got to remember that although none of us really care for all these Bigfoot shows that are on TV, it does make people look down and look, And he said, where was it now? Was it Oregon? I think it was Oregon. He just got a set, 3 prints, a left, a right, and a left. And he said it was similar to Crooked Foot, if you're familiar with that cast, where, yes. Okay, it had similar type of alignment of the toes were way off. And he said he didn't ever think he'd ever see another one like that. He said, but, again, it was only the 1 foot. It was the right foot print. But he said, when you hold it up against Cripplefoot, it was a little smaller, a little narrower, but the position of the toes was pretty much right on the money. Now, he said he doesn't know if the original Cripplefoot was an accident, he ran into a bedpost like I do once in a while, or it was a genetic deformity. And from where the original Crooked Foot was taken to where this was taken, is quite a few hundred miles away. So, that's interesting too, that there could be genetic defects that are being found.
Maybe it's just a bad case of gout from eating all the red meat, man.
Yeah, I guess it could be.
Bigfoot's got to learn how to diet. Let's be honest.
Oh, my God.
No, but it's true. It's completely true. Why not? Why not? But on a serious note, like with the patterns that are being found, whether it's footprints, are we... I know Dr. Meldrum is trying to track, and he believes he has been able to start tracking certain individuals, as he calls them, through their footprints, through their the markings, because much like a fingerprint, the footprint lines never change. And are we seeing more of that? Because I know Dr. Meldrum, for instance, does not believe one iota in the whole theory that these are mystical type creatures with special powers. He doesn't believe that at all. And, but there is other evidence out there that shows there may be something a little bit more special about it.
Well, one of the big things now that's out there that's being researched by quite a few people at the moment, I don't know how long it's going to last, but infrasound, where people are that come in contact or are within range of one of these animals, or Bigfoot, let's call him Bigfoot. I don't know if he's an animal, but where they're getting extreme headaches, sweaty, but the same infrasound is used by many animals to distract. A tiger is one. A tiger will have a low murmur if he senses danger, and it's, to them it's like a warning. But the infrasound, which is in the 20 decibel, below the 20 decibel range, which we can't even hear, causes sweating, extreme headaches, dizziness, blurred vision, slurred speech. I mean, that's nuts. So, that to me, that goes into the same category of why is there a flash of light and a Bigfoot is seen, another flash of light in the woods and the Bigfoot is gone. I'm in that same realm with this now. But, there's so much information out there, and yet when you look at how much that information is useful, I don't know, you'd probably put it in a teacup.
Well, you do have to be careful. You definitely have to be careful with it because, when you don't know what you're dealing with, doesn't matter whether it's Bigfoot, aliens, Dogman, or whatever that creature may be. We don't even know what the side effects of this are. If it does have anything, that's what's kind of scary and petrifying about this.
Well, there have been researchers that have encountered this infrasound that had to be hospitalized. Now, what exactly they were hospitalized for is, remains to be seen. Nobody's really ever said what, other than, they didn't see anything, but they had a feeling that they were very close to something, whether it was a lair or whether it was an actual creature not far off. And they were perfectly healthy, nothing wrong with them. And doesn't matter time of year or type of weather. And all of a sudden they start getting the sweats and, like a migraine headache and blurred vision and slurred speech and very weak. They got to sit down. And basically they get taken out of there, and taken to a hospital. So they did a test on a tiger, a female tiger, and they recorded her from, they put her into a feeding area where she was by herself, and the two guys went in. One guy was doing a recording, and they took it and, had it analyzed, and the infrasound, which is, below the 20 decibel range, it was very dominant. And even the one guy that was taking the recording said he didn't quite have all those symptoms, but he said he did get kind of like half a headache, and he got a couple chills a couple times, and then, the cat will do that low purr or whatever you want to call it, and then when it roared, it just kind of broke, and he was back to normal. But
Butch, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we do got to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days continues after this. More cryptid Bigfoot talk. I'll take your questions as well. I know they're building on up. So stay tuned for more Spaced Out Radio coming up.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Themer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there. You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose, Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have all of you with us. Reminder that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. You can... What else can you do? Join the Space Travelers for $5 a month. Pick up a great book at We Read the Night, and Captain Shirk has the SOR Newswire updated daily. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days happens the final Monday of every month as we are going through the year of the cryptid, as we can call this, as Bigfoot sightings were up. And we're going to get to your questions now because I know they are building up here. Butch, welcome back.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's start off in the Space Travelers Club. Joey is asking, Butch, do you know of the sound teams that are taking these vocalization recordings and also measuring for infrasound? This ties in with vibrational hypothesis.
I believe the team is out of Southern California, University of Southern California. It was called the... trying to think of the name of the had something to do with sound. It just but I'm pretty sure it was a University of Southern California.
All right, let's move on here. Thank you, Joey, for that question. Hadarok is asking, why can we track them with footprints but cannot find the bodies, bones, or get actual DNA from scat or something else to compare other DNA samples of their scat? I want to say it is all true. I just have not been able to verify it. Heard things, had experiences, but never have seen anything nor found anything definite.
Well, as far as, well, there's all kind of hypothesis on, they bury the scat, they bury their dead, they eat their dead. There's just the stories go on and on and on. I think really people really aren't looking for that kind of stuff. They're more interested in footprints. It always seems like no matter what researcher you're talking to or you see what they're doing via their reports, it's always the search for footprints. And I would think it would behoove a researcher to look for the footprints, but also look for the obvious, like scat or deer carcasses or a nest, hair, all that kind of stuff. It's either all or nothing. But if somebody's just going out there and looking for footprints, it's going to spend a long time. And again, try to find their lair. Where do they live? Where do they go? What do they do? Do they migrate? When the weather's bad here, do they go someplace warmer? Or when the weather's too warm, do they go someplace cooler? We don't know. Not a whole lot of research goes in that direction.
All right, let's move on here. As we got Christoph asking, how is the vision of these creatures, in your opinion?
I think their vision is super good. When you look at some of the films, I can't think of the name of that, Carmel Mountain, is it, or something, where a group of church people found a nest, and at the same time they found they videoed a creature up on a ridge, and it was a good video, and it was only a couple of years ago, if I remember right, But now I lost my train of thought. Ah.
The creature up on a ridge, church people sent it off. We're talking about the eyesight.
And the distance between where the creature was and where the individual was that was taking the video was damn near a mile. And the creature started waving his, arms up, and like making, like a fist, like you shouldn't be doing this or whatever. So that would tell me at a mile he's got pretty good eyesight. Another thing that was researched a little while back, maybe a couple years ago, where the eyesight, one researcher was looking at the eyesight, what he thought that they could, that their eyesight was, they could see in different light spectrums. I don't know how he would prove that. I think he was studying apes, and some apes do have kind of spectacular eyesight. And in the same realm, there are some apes that, they're as nearsighted as a brick. But, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't have, that kind of eyesight.
Yeah, that leads to Mike's question in regards to any type of ultraviolet light spectrum, much like the caribou. Have you given any thought about this ability?
There are animals that, they can see in ultraviolet real easy. But to see something for a mile, that's quite a distance for vision of any type. And it started out where one of the people that were in that group, while the guy was videoing, was waving at it, and this thing was like, shaking its fist up in the air. Whether that was deemed as a wave or I'm going to come down there and break your neck, one or the other. But it was interesting, So, there are animals out there that have extreme eyesight. And there are some animals out there that walk in the trees all the time. But it's interesting, but you get so backwashed because you don't really have an individual to test the eyesight on. So I know we speculate on a lot of stuff with these creatures, but I'm still stuck on the bright flash of light, and then they're seeing the bright flash of light and they're gone. I haven't figured that one out yet.
All right. Joey is asking, are there any unique traits associated with Bigfoot footprints? Do those that were casted reveal any of the 4 weight-bearing patterns? Heel only, foot flat in mid-stance, forefoot and toes in, terminal stance, medial forefront in pre-swing? What's your thoughts?
Mostly pretty much flat. Some of the heel impressions that were taken were due to soft ground. But as far as weight, that's where there's the bigger the print, the deeper the print was, especially in soft dirt. But there is one that was just taken. I haven't seen it yet. It should be available to a couple researchers in the next day or so, where they it was actually taken on a real fine, sandy, gravelly type of substrate, and it actually pushed through that to the dirt part, which was like an inch. Now, an inch through stone into dirt, that had to be a heavy, heavy sucker.
No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah, that would be big.
Tell you, that's the next career, Butch, being a Bigfoot podiatrist in order to get rid of them flat feet. Oh, yeah, Dr. Scholl's needs... See, that's where Dr. Scholl's is going to make its next round of money. Bigfoot podiatry. Get some inserts. Get some inserts in there. Why not? See where it goes. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know where this comes up with, where I come up with this stuff or where it comes from. It just kind of happens, man. You got to just roll with it. All right, let's see other questions that we have from the audience. Nick is asking, Butch, he's wondering if there have been any recent reports of surviving dinosaur-type sightings.
Oh, my. The guy, J.C. Johnson, out at Four Corners website, cataloged a bunch of those small pterodactyls, miniature, what he called as Tyrannosaurus rexes looking type of creatures. They're all on his website. All his stuff is all, I mean, even though J.C. passed away, all his stuff is still on the website. It's being maintained by Jack Carey, one of his researchers. If you go there, you can, I'm pretty sure all those reports are still there, along with some sketches and drawings. And I think there's one or two photographs of some smaller creatures that were found in a tree line area that they got photos of.
That's freaky. Dinosaurs. Like we need any more of them with all the dogmen running around.
Yes.
You know? I mean, just being blunt here. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough? But, I mean, it just goes to show, though, that people are having these experiences, for as weird and as strange as they may be, they, for the most part, just want to know what's going on, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And, we try very hard to give out as much information as we can for whatever areas we're researching or what we're looking for or the type of equipment we're going to be using and stuff like that. We've had offers of people that wanted us to, hold star watches in their backyards, So it's the interest from the public is there. It's as strong as it's ever been. The only problem they have is picking out, fact from fiction. And I think in the way things are going with the type of researchers that are out there, just like the Steve Vella that you mentioned, to me, things are changing. They are getting better. Different technologies are being used now. So hopefully with things like the LIDAR and environmental DNA, we may be able to put some more answers together, maybe not come up with a grand conclusion, but, maybe get everything in some sort of order that it now starts to make a little bit of sense to the layman out there. But it's like I was just telling one of my guys the other day, you can only do what you can do. I mean, it's not like you can set up an expedition and go out in the woods for a year. That doesn't happen. And
Butch,
the fact that...
Butch, let me ask you this, though, if you don't mind. No. As a researcher, how do you take it seriously when somebody comes up to you and says, I just saw a miniature Tyrannosaurus Rex or raptor running around the forest in New Haven, Connecticut, or wherever it may be? Doesn't matter. How do you take that seriously? How do you look at that person and say, I believe you?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the way you conduct your investigation. I mean, if you're going to do that by phone or, by email, you're just wasting time. I mean, something like that. I mean, you want to be staring them in the face when they say it. Now, that may just be an old cop in me, but you can tell a lot by people's expressions. And I wrote a paper on that years ago about how to question people as far as taking a report. I always say that The best report is the report where you're taking eyeball to eyeball. When you get reports that, over the phone or via email or report form or something like that on the internet, it's just not the same. It's just not the same as standing there looking at them, looking at the area where they say they saw this, that, or whatever, and drawing your own conclusion right on the spot, right there and then. I personally, I always take everything seriously until I can prove otherwise.
So if somebody comes up to you and says, I had a pterodactyl land in the tree in my backyard, and here's the grainy, blurry photo that I caught of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're believing it. You're believing it until the evidence says different.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And in a case like that, it would just what the biggest point would be to dissect the photograph, and that's very simple. I mean, that's at one time doing photographs was very tough. I mean, it's very hard. The technology wasn't there yet, but now that technology is pretty much solid. And, you can take any photograph and just take it apart piece by piece, pixel by pixel, and you'll have exactly what it was or how it was done. And that's why you don't see too many photographs like that anymore, because people know that researchers out there that have that information, have that in their computer, those programs. I mean, they can take your photograph apart in minutes. And it's not real cool when you put it out on the internet that this is what you found, and somebody takes it apart and says, well, that's not what it is. It's a paper plate with a string on it, it's you gotta have a little faith, I guess. But then there's the ludicrous, the ones that are so bizarre it's crazy. I had a lady one time told me she was feeding Bigfoot out of her kitchen window every Thursday night. Often wondered what kind of drug she was on. Whew.
Oh, you're not buying that?
No, she said he didn't like meatloaf, but he loved chicken livers.
Oh, well, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I think I pretty much met them all. Maybe not.
I don't blame you. Joey is asking, Butch, do you have any comments about the Sasquatch Genome Project?
Well, the Genome Project, I think it's finished. I'm pretty sure it's finished. That was Melba Ketchum's project originally. And they garnered all the information, and they sent it down to Australia, to a place that they store all the DNA of all known animals and animals that are long gone. And it came back absolutely negative. DNA is tough, and it's a very simple reason why it's tough. To study Bigfoot DNA, you have to have a control subject. So you have to have DNA from a living or dead Bigfoot to compare it to DNA that you've just gathered. Well, that's not happening. That's never happened. Now, with the environmental DNA, it has nothing to do with a body. Okay? So let's just say that you have a series of reports of a Bigfoot drinking at a lake. Somebody got a picture or somebody witnessed a Bigfoot at a lake. They can take the water from that lake and they can track down that individual's DNA, which would come back totally as unknown. Of course, they're going to get fish, frogs, and everything else, bird crap, the whole 9 yards. Everything that's ever drank out of that lake, they'll have DNA on. And same thing with a nest. Now, a lot of animals make nests. Primates in Africa make nests. Primates in South America make nests. So the nests that they find here in the United States and in Canada are much larger, but they're woven. So when you say that they're woven, that means that they just didn't stack wood on top of everything. I mean, they've got cover where they had to intertwine, so they had to have hands to do that. You know what I'm saying? So if they're intertwining branches to make it, semi-waterproof or whatever, and then, excuse me, and then the next question is, are they used for shelter or are they used to hide? So with environmental DNA, you're not looking anymore for anything outside. You're looking for samples from inside. So you're going to take dirt, you're going to take bedding, any hair that you find, urine, fecal matter, anything, a chewed-on piece of meat, and environmental DNA. Like I said, is much better because you don't need a control subject, because if it is something other than known DNA, now you have unknown DNA. So unknown DNA puts you on the track that this possibly could be a Bigfoot. Now, if you find that same unknown environmental DNA in a number of locations in a certain area, like a drinking area or a feeding area or an area that has, in one area up in Washington State, they found 10 shelters. And they all come back unknown DNA. Now you got something. Now you got some proof, and you don't need the body. You just need hair, skin flecks, tears, drool, saliva, urine, scat, a toenail, anything. So I really believe that the environmental DNA is going to be the break point for the DNA as far as Bigfoot or other creatures.
We've got about a minute 45 left until we got to go to break at the top of the hour. Butch Witkowski is our guest. Are you still collecting hair samples? And if so, do you have a lab that can process that DNA without it costing the $15,000?
Yeah, I do. A friend of mine's a professor at a local college, and he runs their biolab. So it's a freebie.
Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Yeah. I may have some hair samples for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Allegedly, an American trucker was pulled over sleeping, and him and his wife were coming down from Alaska, full load, and all of a sudden, the truck started shaking in the middle of the night. I'll finish the story after we get back from break.
Okay.
But there was a couple hair samples that may have been found. Butch Witkowski, we got him for another 30 minutes on Spaced Out Radio. Then we get to the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned, hour 3, right around the corner.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, We have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chide and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thieme. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. Chat rooms are open 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Appreciate you all tuning on in. Thank you for listening in on WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas, down in Reedsport, Oregon, KDUN AM 1030. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio and Kingdom of Nye Radio. Great to have you with us. Remember, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Jurassicophobia. Jurassicophobia is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, grab a great book from We Read the Night, join the Space Travelers for $5 a month, and of course, Captain Shirk has all of the news updated daily on the SOR Newswire. For the final time tonight, final time of the year, final time of the decade, Butch Witkowski's Strange Days happens, final Monday of every month. His website, UFOcop.com. Butch, welcome back.
Yes, sir. I'm back.
All right. So I got to tell you this. I was just telling you a story right before the break about this trucker who stopped in one of the local towns here at this old curiosity-type antique store, and was telling the lady about this encounter. And he said, do you have any elk in the area? And she's like, no. And I guess about 1:30 in the morning, his fully loaded semi-truck started shaking like it was hit by something. And he and his wife both woke up in the sleeper. He got out to check what it was, seeing if there was a car or something that hit him. There was nothing there. And he went to check the hood of the vehicle because it was coming from the front, and there was nothing there. No marks, no scratches, no dents, nothing broken. So as he's telling this lady this, she goes, did you find anything? He goes, yeah, there was a couple of long strands of hair in the grill. So she went and grabbed them, and she's going to give them to me.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So we don't know what it was. However, it's kind of interesting that I got to send them to you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Who knows what that could be? I mean,
yeah.
Might have been my former mother-in-law driving her broom and accidentally hit the truck. I don't know. It's not beyond the realm of possibility, that's for sure.
Okay.
Oh, you don't want none of that. You don't want none of that.
No, been there and done that.
Anyhow, moving on, 2020. What do you see happening in 2020 in the world of cryptids?
I'm really expecting more reports than usual. I'm also expecting these new technologies, the LIDAR and the environmental DNA, to start to produce some things that are more understandable, I guess is the word I'm looking for. More proof. And I think some of the evidence that's going to come forward is going to be pretty exciting.
Do you see, whether it's this LIDAR or more FLIR or more drones getting deeper into the forest, is that where you see everything kind of coming through?
Yep, I certainly do, because look, you can spend hours and hours and hours walking, a couple square miles in the woods and see absolutely nothing but trees. With LIDAR, they can do miles and hundreds of miles and then go back and load it into the computer, and the computer removes all those trees. So you can see what's under the tree canopies. So is it going to show trails, unknown water sources, a cluster of caves, a grouping of nests? It can show you so much more. And there's not going to be a lot of it out there because it is very expensive. I just sent a request out to check on getting LIDAR for our drone, but I didn't get anything back yet. And I think the environmental DNA is going to start to produce a lot of unknowns, and that's basically what we're looking for. We're looking for the unknowns. I think technology is going to play a big part in 2020. These guys that are doing the infrasound study, that's all, another tool that's being used right now, and it's been used in archaeology for many, many years, a scanner. Just like you have a scanner in your office, only it's handheld. And instead of passing up, say, a good footprint that's a little muddy or it's raining or, you can't protect it, but you got to get it right now, and you're not going to be able to do it because of, the drying time and all the crap that comes with plaster of Paris or dental stone. You just scan the print, plug it into your computer and load the print in your computer, and now you can do the sizing, the depth, you can do everything. And you don't have to mess with any of that stuff. Again, those scanners, I'm sure, are pretty salty. I didn't even look into those yet. But I think technology is going to play a big part. FLIR, of course, is, as their stuff is getting bigger and more powerful, you're going to be able to get a FLIR image at, almost, a football field. And it'll be quite a recognizable FLIR image. So, and cameras, there's a couple people trying to develop a film, almost like Polaroid film, but it'll be on a roll. So you'll be able to take all the pictures, take it out, at your house and load it into a computer off of a reel. So, got a lot of neat things happening out there, but we've got to wait till it hit the market and see just how high-tech it's going to be.
Do you find that when it comes to 2020 and the cryptid search, is this a year where we start learning more patterns? I don't think we're going to find the creature per se, a body or anything like that. You never know. But should we be focusing more on patterns, habitats, maybe trying to find any sort of migration pattern at all?
Oh yeah, I think another thing that LiDAR is going to produce is, like I said, it's going to see once the foliage is removed, trees are removed, and all that. You're going to see the ground. You're going to see trails and maybe habitats. And now the next thing you would want to do is bring in ground penetrating radar and see if you can. Are bodies buried? Do they bury bodies? That would be unbelievably extraordinary, and that would pretty much solve the whole case.
Absolutely it would, but there's still the number of people out there who do not believe that those bodies will ever be found.
No, that's true, but then again, we're talking about technology now that has taken away all the obstruction that you always had with the woods. I mean, you're going to be looking at an overhead of, say, a mountain range, and, you see no trails, you see no lakes or anything like that, but once the foliage is removed with LiDAR, all of a sudden you're seeing that, there's one or two or three lakes, and you got all kind of trails here and trails there, maybe a grouping of nests in a particular area. That would, at that point, you'd want to get in to investigate those. And, it wouldn't hurt to bring in ground penetrating radar and see if you can, if there is anything that's buried. Because once ground is disturbed, ground penetrating radar picks it up instantly. So I think there's the technology that was used for many, 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 many years in archaeology is now being put to the test with Bigfoot.
All right, let's switch over to the paranormal, which has kind of taken a little bit of a back seat. And on television, we've seen a lot of what is old is new again with some of the shows that are on, but nothing has really changed in the entire paranormal spectrum. What do you see happening in 2020 for all of these paranormal teams, groups, tours, and destinations?
Well, I think the tours will always be there, just because of the curiosity of folks. The haunted hotels that you can stay in, Gettysburg, places that have been known for many, many years. But I don't see a lot of these paranormal TV shows lasting. Some of them are so outrageous that it's crazy. But I think the tours will hang around. The amount of people that go to Gettysburg and to these haunted asylums and hospitals and stuff, I think that's going to continue. Excuse me, but I think a lot of the TV shows are going to go south.
Is that just because they made their presence and that's pretty much it, or that they're just not finding anything? Is it about the facts or the entertainment?
I think it's a combination of both. Lack of facts and a lot of entertainment.
Now, I know you've never really been a fan of paranormal type television. It's not really one of those things that is up your alley. But do you think that with that going on, that there might be the opportunity for new types of investigation, new types of series that are actually delving into some sort of mysteries? And I bring up Hellier again in this case because it is so different compared to what everybody else is doing out there, rather than, the same old where the minute there's some sort of sound, the music track goes up louder so you can't even hear it.
Yeah. I was never a big fan of the paranormal investigations that were on TV. They have their entertainment factor is far surpassed their research abilities. I mean, somebody takes a box and they put some wires on it, some lights, and they put that in the middle of the room. And they say, now, when a spirit walks through here, if there's a spirit here, the box is going to flash pink and green and orange. Yeah, that kind of stuff makes me crazy. It's a battery with some lights and, a mercury switch. I mean, a lot of the stuff that they've come up with, different types of technology over the years, and we looked at some of it. It made no sense whatsoever. I mean, you know, why would I want something that has is a seismograph on a paranormal investigation? What's that going to do? You know, you got people walking all over the building. If it's that sensitive, it's going to pick up all those people walking around the building. Now I'm going to yell ghost? I don't think so. One of the things that has always killed me with paranormal investigations, and not that I've done a lot, but enough to know that the first thing I want to check through that house is the electric, because you know, bad wiring or you know, a bad breaker or something, and you're going to get all kind of, you know, you're going to get noises in the walls, you're going to get flickering lights, you know, just all kind of dumb stuff. And I don't know how many times these people are going to go to the same prison and walk through. Everybody that goes through the prison sees something else. But, you know, that's people. They want to do their thing, so who am I to say? Enjoy yourself.
Do you find it, as for what you do, which is on a completely different level, do you find that a little, and I don't, lack of a better term, insulting?
Not really. You know, there are people that, you know, you could prove to them black and white that something that they're looking for does not exist. You can give them all the proof in the world. Physical proof, mental proof, I mean, all of it. And, you know, they're still not going to believe you. So I like to see people find this stuff out on their own. And eventually they do, or they get tired of it. You know, at one time there were over 300 paranormal groups here in this state of Pennsylvania. It's now down to about 105. So that just goes to show that, you know, everything gets old when you're not finding anything, or you're not, you know, you're not going anywhere. You're just kind of beating a dead horse. And I like doing it our way. You know, we don't get a lot of information, but when we get information, it's usually good information. And, you know, it takes us to another step. And it's, you know, I've been doing it over 30 years now, and I enjoy the hell out of it. I enjoy the research just as much as I enjoy walking around during an investigation. So, you know, I found that to be the absolute best way of doing it. And, you know, if you just enjoy walking around the woods, but you don't enjoy doing the background research, you're throwing half your investigation out the window. But if you know, it's rainy days or snow days or something like that, and you know, you can get in and do research on the computer or in books or whatever, and now you have actually armed yourself with information that you know, may or may not put you in the right direction, but at least you're not going out there empty-headed, you know, doing the Bobo thing with the donuts.
And what about UFOs, as we got about 4 minutes here?
Well, the UFOs are on the uptake again. They were down for quite a while. And now they are, you know, on an upswing. A lot of them right now are either in way eastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, or northwestern Pennsylvania. Triangles and orbs, that's, you know, the usual ones. But they're there. They're always there.
2020, many are saying, year of disclosure. What's your thoughts?
Well, I always thought they disclosed many years ago, but I don't know the type of disclosure people are looking for, but we'll see. We'll see what they come up with. But, you know, Project Blue Book actually disclosed everything. I mean, there's like 1,154 cases unknown. I mean, there's a lot of cases that were written off, but there's still a bunch in there that were unknown.
I get that, but, you know, I mean, so many people have attached their reputations and their careers in this field to Disclosure 2020. Do you expect more to come out of the government this year around like we've seen in 2019?
There might be some. I don't expect a whole lot. You know, you got researchers out there that have been doing this for probably as long as I've been doing this, trying to get disclosure, trying to get somebody to actually say something that is disclosure. And so far it hasn't been working out too good. Then you got these new folks out there that say that the government, you know, had this running investigative team, I guess, as you want to call it, super secret, that is all, you know, the rage right now. But even that's cooled off. I mean, there wasn't a day going by that you couldn't find anything from that to the STARS Academy on the internet. I haven't seen anything in months. So it either cooled down or it just went away, one or the other.
We've got about just under 90 seconds left with you, Butch, and I got to say, I really hope that 2020 is a fantastic year for you, my friend. 2019 we know was a little rough, but coming up here, my friend, I hope that you get some of the answers that you were looking for out in the field of research.
Well, thank you very much. I'm hoping that too.
Could you do me a favor? Let our audience know where they can find all of your information.
They can find all the information, first of all, U4Cop, UFORCOP.com is the webpage. On Facebook, Butch Witkowski, or JAAR Magazine, or U4Cop has its own page also. There's contact information there, how to get a hold of me by phone, email. I try to answer everything, you know, as soon as I get it. So unless it be a holiday and I wouldn't be in the office, I try to answer everything, you know, as soon as I get it. And we're available to give you any information that we can help you with if you have questions out there, or if you need our services, we can talk about that too. We don't charge anybody anything, so it's always been a freebie.
Awesome. Butch, much love, my friend, to you and your family heading into 2020. All the best to all of you on the East Coast, and may your 2020 maybe at least find some dogman, bipedal canines, or Bigfoot. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire, the thought of the day. Stay tuned.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. Chat rooms are open 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there. You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a Space Traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com. We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters, potentially for the final time of this decade. But don't worry, there's a new decade coming, so I'll be there for that one. Yeah, just kind of roll with it. If you've missed most of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, because we've got some great swag there. Great books at We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers, $5 a month. And Captain Shirk has us all up to date on the SOR Newswire. Let's get to it. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes lucky. In 2015, David Hole was prospecting in Maryborough Regional Park near Melbourne, Australia. Armed with a metal detector, he discovered something out of the ordinary, a very heavy reddish rock resting in some yellow clay. He took it home and tried everything to open it, sure that there was gold inside. After all, Maryborough is in the goldfields region where the Australian gold rush peaked in the 19th century. To crack it open his find, Hole tried a rock saw, angle grinder, drill, even putting the thing in acid. But not even a sledgehammer could make it crack. Well, that's because he was trying so hard to open, and it wasn't even gold. Found out years later that it's a rare meteorite. It has this sculpted dimple look, Melbourne Museum geologist Dermot Henry says. That's formed when they come through the atmosphere. They are melting on the outside, and the atmosphere sculpts them. Unable to open the rock, but still intrigued, Hole took the meteorite into Melbourne Museum to be identified. I've looked at a lot of rocks that people think are meteorites. In fact, after 37 years of working at the museum and examining thousands of rocks, Henry explains only 2 of the offerings have ever turned out to be real. This big one is one of the 2. If you saw a rock on Earth like this and you pick it up, it shouldn't be that heavy, says another researcher, Bill Birch. The researchers have recently published a scientific paper describing the 4.6 billion-year-old meteorite, which they've called Maryborough after the town near it was found. It was a huge 37.5 pounds, and after using a diamond saw to cut off a small slice, they discovered its composition has a high percentage of iron. Once open, you can also see the tiny crystallized droplets of metallica, I almost said metallica, for whom the bell tolls. Anyways, metallic minerals throughout it. Meteorites provide the cheapest form of space exploration. They transport us back in time, providing clues to the age, formation, and chemistry of our solar system, including Earth's, explains Henry. So that's kind of cool. Goes on to say carbon dating suggests the meteorite has been on Earth between 100 and 1,000 years, and there have been a number of meteor sightings between 1889 and 1951 that could correspond to its arrival on our planet. The researchers argue that the Maryborough meteorite is much rarer than gold. It's one of only 17 meteorites ever recorded in the Australian state of Victoria, and it is the second largest chondritic mass after a huge 55-kilogram specimen identified in 2003. This is only the 17th meteorite found in Victoria, where, as there have been thousands of gold nuggets found. How much is this guy getting paid? That's what I want to know. What's the value of this? Sure, that sounds a little greedy, okay, but I want to know what this guy's getting paid. All right, let's move on. He ain't getting paid anything. But he's got a really, really cool story. So here is a little bit of a strange one. So strange that everybody who had a crush on Sharon Stone after Basic Instinct is now rushing to the dating site Bumble. That's because Sharon Stone, she is signed up for Bumble, the matchmaking website. Yeah, because she's single. So anyways, why is this important? Well, it's important because Sharon Stone had her profile labeled as fake numerous times and kept getting blocked on the site. Bumble's editorial director, Claire O'Connor, reached out to the celebrity on Twitter to notify that her account has officially been unblocked and signed off with the message, "Hope you find your honey." Yes, Stone, who shot to fame with Total Recall and Casino, and of course, Basic Instinct, took it to Twitter to share that Bumble closed her account after users on the dating platform reported it couldn't possibly be her. Using a matchmaking app, Stone's travels highlight the push taken by Bumble and other matchmaking apps to weed out fake dating profiles. A Bumble representative said in a statement that users on the platform thought it was too good to be true once they noticed Stone's profile wasn't photo verified, which is one of the many ways to connect on the app. In light of our mix-up with Sharon Stone, we'd like to extend an invitation for her to come to Austin and allow us to host her at the Hive for a few hours of profile prep, the company said in a statement. Dating apps have come under more scrutiny this year, with U.S. Federal Trade Commission suing Tinder owner Match Group, Inc. for deceiving consumers by using messages from fraudulent accounts to encourage them to sign up for subscriptions. Bumble, which describes itself on Twitter as bringing good people together, would aim to keep the platform clean and reputable as its parent company draws in the big investors. Blackstone Group took the majority of stake in Bumble's holdings, valuing it $3 billion. My question is, how the hell can't Sharon Stone get a date? Apparently, she's answering on Twitter, at Sharon Stone. If you're single, she's still attractive. She really is. Give it a try. Give it a try. Mr. Skeptic on Twitter. You may have a new date soon. Try Sharon Stone. I think it might work. She may like your snark. All right, I'll move it on. Here's a grotesque story. A ghost boat containing human remains washed up on the shores of a Japanese island. 5 corpses and 2 human heads were discovered inside of a shipwreck off the coast of Japan. The boat washed ashore on Japan's Sado Island, northwest from the mainland, on Friday, and authorities gained access to it on Saturday. The heavily damaged vessel had Korean lettering painted on its side. Police couldn't confirm whether the 2 heads belonged to the corpses, but Japanese media says the remains were partially skeletonized. This could indicate the victims had been at sea for a very long time. Ghost boats, believed to hail from North Korea, are fairly common discovery on Japanese shores. They are generally empty or contain only human remains. During winter, exposure and starvation are most likely the explanations for crew members' deaths. In previous incidents, there has been speculation that crew found on the ghost boats are defectors or spies from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's repressive regime. But it's also thought that poverty is forcing North Koreans to fish further from home. In 2017, a fishing crew was discovered alive on board a drifting vessel and asked to be sent back to North Korea. Ongoing tensions between Japan and North Korea could make a full investigation into the latest shipwreck difficult. On Friday, Japanese national broadcaster NHK accidentally reported a North Korea missile launch before correcting the error. They apologized and said the news flash was intended to be a training exercise. In November, North Korea threatened Japan with a ballistic missile and called Prime Minister Shinzo Abe an imbecile and political dwarf, accusing him of mislabeling its latest weapons test. Oh, those North Koreans always make for a fun story. Billionaire Elon Musk says the Las Vegas tunneling system being built by his startup Boring Company could be fully operational as soon as next year. The Tesla CEO made the comments about the $48.7 million project in a pair of tweets late Friday. The planned transit system is expected to shuttle visitors from the Las Vegas Convention Center to 3 stops spread across the length of about a mile in Tesla electric vehicles. According to the Boring Company, the twin tunnel loop will shorten what would be a 15-minute walk into a 1-minute ride. It's unclear what those projects may entail, but the Boring Company, based in Hawthorne, California, has proposed similar subterranean transportation systems in Los Angeles, Chicago, and between D.C. and Baltimore. Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority officials have previously said the system was scheduled to be open by January 2021. Oh, Elon, just doing everything. All right. Coastal Maine has a lot of seaweed and a fair number of cows. So a group of scientists and farmers think that the pairing could help cope with warming worlds. Yeah, the researchers from a marine science lab, an agricultural center, and universities in northern New England are working on a plan to feed seaweed to cows to gauge whether they can help reduce the greenhouse gas emissions that continue to climate change. About a quarter of the methane in the country comes from cattle, which produce the gas when they belch or flatulate. The concept of feeding seaweed to cows has gained traction in recent years because of some studies that have shown its potential to cut back on methane. The reduction might be because the seaweed interrupts the process of production of the gas in the animal's guts. One of the big questions is which kinds of seaweeds offer the highest benefits to farmers looking to cut methane. And the researchers hope to find out, says Nicole Price, senior research scientist at Bigelow Laboratory for Ocean Scientists in East Booth Bay, Maine, and the project's leader. What's on that list has the ability to do two things, not just reduce methane emissions, but have some health benefits for the cow that have a cost savings or cost efficiency for the farmer. The researchers plan to conduct feeding trials with cows in Maine and New Hampshire in 2020 and 2021 to see whether seaweeds that can be used as cattle feed can cut the methane. They also intend to screen seaweeds for compounds that make them useful as cattle feed additives. Rolling along here. Back in Las Vegas, a Nevada Army Guard soldier serving in Afghanistan has received a uniform religious exemption to sport a beard based upon his Norse pagan beliefs. The Nevada Army Guard said this month Sergeant First Class Benjamin Hopper is the first Guard soldier to receive a religious accommodation approval for a beard. Norse paganism is a religion that is based on ancient beliefs and practices associated with the geographic area of Scandinavia. So, Hopper, who's 34 years old, by the way, said he has been practicing his Norse pagan faith for about 2 decades, and he noted his beliefs complement the Army warrior ethos. He cited documents on the Norse beard that underscore the fact that beards are seen as a sacred and defining feature of masculine men. The personal faith is deeply tied to the modern warrior lifestyle that I have been able to live during my military career, Hopper said. In short, it is honoring the pillars of heathenism, our ancestors, and ancient gods, and a way of life. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. He's sporting a pretty good beard. Sporting a very, very nice beard. And you know we like a good beard around here. Good for him. Regardless of why the wear of a beard while in uniform does tend to raise a number of questions, Hopper said. I've been brought before some fairly high-ranking individuals to explain the situation as it's a newer Army process. According to the Nevada Guard's chaplain office, 2 other pagan soldiers are also pursuing a waiver to wear a beard Joint Force State Chaplain Major Donald Crandall said his staff is glad to help soldiers and airmen obtain sincere requests for accommodation. Free the beard. Free the beard. They just did that with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. It's weird seeing cops now wear beards up here. Usually they had to be clean shaven. That was a rule up until this year. A Florida sheriff's office said a cat found by deputies outside a district station was found to be a pet missing since Hurricane Irma 2 years earlier. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office says the cat was found by deputies on Christmas Eve outside the office's District 3 headquarters. Deputies took the cat to a veterinarian, and a microchip was found bearing the feline's owner contact information. The owner told deputies the cat, named Eva, had gone missing during Hurricane Irma 2 years earlier. The feline's whereabouts from its disappearance during the storm until being found outside the station are unknown. And finally, workers at a recycling center in England enlisted the help of police to find the owners of nearly $20,000 in cash found in a box. Avon and Somerset police said staff at the Recycle for Bathness depot in Midsummer Norton were checking a box to make sure it didn't contain any electrical cable when they discovered the stash of cash totaling $19,682. The center contacted police, and investigators were able to identify the car that had dropped off several boxes at the recycling facility earlier that day. Police spoke with the owners of the vehicle, and they confirmed that they had dropped off several boxes at the center after helping clean out the home of a recently deceased relative. Despite the fact they mentioned that the relative was known to hide money around the house in unusual places, they were aghast to hear the details of the find. The money was turned over to the couple. We would like to say a big thank you to the staff at the recycling center. Without their diligent attitude, integrity, and assistance, the family would have never known about the money found, and we would not been able to return it to them, especially in time for Christmas, the police wrote on their social media pages. Well, that's nice. That's very nice. Thought of the Day happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. What's your favorite cryptid story of 2019? I thought we would get more of them, but we didn't. But we'll go through them. Let's start off with Tim. It's a tie. North Carolina, the missing toddler found in the thicket after 2 days of being taken care of by a bear. And the other one? The older woman viciously mauled by an as unknown yet animal. Yeah, both in North Carolina, too. They were like within a month of each other. That one is kind of strange. Mike, Penman. The glowing goblin-like beings in episode 1 of Hellier. Oh, that's nice. Those are good photos. Everett. Whatever happened to the Wolfman? Chris. I met Bigfoot, and he said he was digging the Jethro Tull streaming through my headphones. As he shows a picture from a conference of a dude in a Bigfoot costume wearing Ray-Bans, and Chris himself sporting a very, very tight beard and goatee, wearing headphones, and looks like a pair of Oakleys. Marty, our favorite veteran listening to the show. Hi, Marty. Thanks for the clown. The episodes on the new series Expedition Bigfoot on Travel Channel, major scientific expedition in Central Oregon to find irrefutable scientific proof of Sasquatch's existence. Really great episodes. I got to check that out. Whenever it chimes in again. Hi, Dave. I know you were in the middle of your thought of the day, but I just want to tell you I'm at Taco Bell. Wow. That hurts. That hurts. Anybody want to host the Sunday show from now on? Because that's a jerk move right there. The closest Taco Bell to me is 2.5 hours away. And Themer's got to pull this. Not nice. Not nice at all. Wow. Can't believe he would pull that in the thought of the Dave. Themer, if you're listening, that is cruel. That is absolutely cruel. My yearning for Taco Bell is strong. And the fact that I can't have any upsets me. Way to hurt my feelings. About to cry now. All right. Joe gets the final word. Oob Joe's Maine. Critter Report 2020. A Bigfoot will look in Dave's window. Let it stop over at Themer's house and steal the Taco Bell first, Joe. That's all I want. Bring the Taco Bell to me before you come to the window. That's all I ask, Bigfoot. Thank you to everybody participating in the Thought of the Dave. Are we going to do tomorrow? I haven't decided yet. We'll figure out what we are doing tomorrow for a show. It'll either be a recording or we will be live, depending on the situation with New Year's, because I have no idea what the plans are just yet. Nobody's told me. Nobody's filled me in. Big thanks to Captain Shirk for putting together an awesome SOR newswire, which can be found on our website, spacedoutradio.com. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, in our chat rooms, on LGAB, Spreaker, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the SOR Space Travelers Club on our website, and all you snarkers and snarkettes at hashtag Spaced Out Radio on Twitter. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for sharing your 2019 with us. What a pleasure to broadcast to you live, because together, my friends,
make a mistake. We're watching.
We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a great night, everybody. We'll let you know tomorrow if we're doing a show or not. Have a good one. Good night.